Flosstube, welcome back. My name is Teresa. This is the Garden Goose Stitcher Flosstube. I think it's 35, 25. It's probably titled. It's March 8th. It's been about a month since I checked in. I don't know why. I meant to check in right when I got back from Florida, but I've been a little scattered. In fact, actually the reason is that I have so much free time. I just waste it all away because hockey has been done. And so because I have every evening to myself, I just don't know what to do. And so I waste my time. Isn't that a kicker? I was so much more organized and on top of everything when we had something to do every single day. And now I'm just wandering around aimlessly. Go figure. So it's been about a month. Since I've seen you, I finished a bunch of things. I went to Florida for spring break, went to the retreat, saw my friends, met new friends, and so I have a lot to show you. Nothing's really been going on. Hockey's over. The weather's been kind of nice. I think we missed out on our prime tapping. I mean, it was really weird before we left. We didn't know when to tap. So I think we've got like 20 gallons, so we're going to get like 2 quarts maybe, if we're lucky. Better than nothing, of maple syrup. Did I tell you we're talking about maple syrup? So sorry. I'm about to start my seeds. I'm not going to overdo it with tomatoes this year. I won't. I'm just going to plant extra for other people maybe. But I'm really excited that it's time to start seeds. Because there's always a point in January when I just never think winter will end. And here I am. I should have done it a couple days ago. But once again, I've been wasting my time. I have so much of it. I can just waste it. Anyway, so let me tell you about my stitching. I'm going to start with my fully finished objects. I have 2. One is from the Finishing Frenzy challenge that Alley Cat 13 on Instagram has issued to pull out your Chantel 141 finishing pieces and get going. Start finishing stuff. Quit hoarding them, start finishing them. I said last month that I wouldn't be procrastinating. That was a lie. If this wasn't leap year, I would have once again not finished it in the month it was meant to be. But praise be, it was leap day. Went to the store, got fresh paints, got fresh glue, got a sealer, painted it, finished it, and I love it. This is Holiday Hoopla by Brenda Gervais. St. Patrick's Day, obviously. I think that this was just a scrap piece of fabric. I don't remember what it was called. It's probably in previous Flosstube. But I really, really love it. So, and ironically enough, do you want to know, I went to Michael's and I got fresh paint specifically for this piece. I took this piece with me to the Michael's store. And then I bought some paint I liked the most. I went to Home Depot and I got a sealer and I got some new wood glue. And anyway, I came home and one of those paints was thick. I mean, honestly, I went to go pour it out and it came out like goose poop. And I'll tell you, I'm an expert at goose poop because we got it all over. And so it was wasted. So I had to go in my stash and find a paint. And anyway, go figure. So I finished this up on leap day. I promise I'm not going to procrastinate for Marches. I also finished my Beach Please finishing class retreat piece. Did I say that backwards and frontwards and sideways? Anyway, there was a chart offered for the Beach Please attendees to stitch part. There was like a 4-part beach scene, beach themed thing. Pick a quarter of it and stitch that. I picked the seagulls, and I ended up on my last Flosstube. I was talking about this, and I had my Grace Notes fabric, January fabric of the month. And I thought, oh, this might be fun on the Beach Please piece. And I did. I ended up using that Sunset by Grace Notes fabric. And I love it a lot. It's not perfect. And then Stacy did an amazing job teaching us how to do a flat fold finish. She used Vanna Pfeiffer's tutorial. She got permission from Vanna, gave Vanna credit every which way, and printed us out these beautiful books with it and walked us through it. And I really, up until very near the end, was like, how does this work? I'm a very visual person. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I get it now. I learned a lot. This ribbon's a bit, but so I finished that. I love it very much. So 2 fully finished objects. That's not bad. Last time we spoke, I have some finishes. Last time we spoke, I was stitching this. I had started it for Missy's birthday. She had gifted a friend group of us this pattern, the floss, a bag, a cabochon, and it was super cute. And I decided I would stitch it for her birthday. She said no. And I said, well, I'm going to start it the day before your birthday then. So we did. We had a Zoom and we stitched together. I had just started it. Last time I just had one girl and part of the trunk. I stitched that. I ended up needing to do color completion because these greens really on the pattern, I was getting confused. It's very beautiful. This is a piece of coffee tea dyed by me. I'm sure it's 16 or 18 count, but it turned out really nice. I enjoyed this very much. After I finished that, I switched back over to Love Always. I had been stitching on this for a few days before that sale started, so I switched back over to Love Always by Annie Bees. This was also a birthday sale for a friend, and I finished it, and I love it. I ended up just putting the date in those squares. Hers had initials. Oh, hers was for 2020. I think Missy had put Tammy's initials or something, but I ended up just putting the year I finished it. I started this in last October. That's not a bad whip turnaround, and it was very lovely to stitch. I finished it on Valentine's Day, so that was very, very appropriate. Then I switched over to my next 24 and 24, which is a small piece I started during the 12 by 12. I took half of my 24 and 24 and I started them on New Year's Eve with the 12 by 12. So I had a little bit of a head start. It's from a 1989 or 88 pattern from a magazine. This magazine here, Cross Quick. And I was stitching these 2 geese, but I ended up just stitching the 1 gander. And so I had a decent start, but I pulled this out and worked on it for like a day, and I got him done. He's very cute. This is a piece that I believe I had dyed it aqua, and then I had dunked it in coffee tea, and I really like how grungy and it looks. He's a stud. So I finished that up. So my 24 and 24 for February, both of them were accomplished. Then I pulled out my intended whips for February. I'm not doing whip go. I've already assigned my whips because most of them are seasonal stitches. So I pulled out my February planned whips, and the big one was this one. I started this whenever Fat Quarter Shop did their sale. It says it came out in 2021, so it must have been, I remember doing this on a 24 and 24 weekend, and I think I ended up stitching 26 hours, and I just got that typewriter done. And then I put it on Whip Go, I think twice, maybe 3 times. If I put it in on 22, 23, yeah. So twice before, and I had finished this love stamp, and I had part of these arrows and stuff. Got the heart stem, but it's huge, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So I ended up, to finish it, I ended up tearing out the stamp part and part of the arrow, and I just am going to keep it like this. And I'm going to put it on some stabilizer and make it into a project bag. This typewriter is so cool. I think it's so neat, and it took me 26 hours. But I don't know what else I would do with, like, where am I going to put it? A lot of my stuff is a more like primer. So I think I'm going to make this into a project bag. It'd be perfect for Valentine's stitches and stuff. And so I'm going to do that. I think I have quite a few old stitches that might end up in project bags as a stitch piece in a project bag. So after I got the big whip for February that I had planned, I pulled out. No, I got two of the big whips, the Love Always and the Just My Type. So I pulled out a couple of other whips, and I took these to Florida with me, which I'm gonna tell you was super lame. Super lame. Do not recommend. Zero, 0 stars. I don't recommend it. Take something new. I had taken something new. I took the Beach Please little retreat piece that I needed to finish for the class. I started at the airport, stitched it on the plane, stitched it at the hotel, stitched it at the beach, stitched it at the pool, stitched it in the lobby with my friends when they showed up while we were watching Love is Blind and ruining the algorithm on the YouTube on the TV in the lobby to only play Flosstube. We did it. But anyway, so I had stitched that for several days during when we were in Florida. And then when I got to the retreat, I had whips. Lame. But I stitched on these a little bit, but then I ended up working on them when I got home. I had picked this up. This was Bent Creek Shamrock Row. I started this last year during March Mania. And I got it done. I spent a while on this, a couple zooms, and I sure do like that. I have 3 of these, maybe 4 of these done. I have a very specific piece in the above the cabinets. Anyway, I know how I want to finish them. I just need to get started. Now that I have 3 or 4 of them, I should probably do that. I'll add it to my list. Then I picked out this whip. I started this last year too, the Oh Lucky Day. I like a lot of times, even though there's 3 parts to this pattern, I'm only going to count 1 at a time as a stitch. I do that a lot. Is that cheating? It's America. I can do what I want. But I had started this last year. I'm not going to do the satin stitches on there because I stitched it on an Ada. But I sure do love it. I finished this like a day or 2 ago. Maybe like a week ago. I don't know. One day. So I finished this. This is on a coffee tea dyed. I think it was a gray fabric. And then I coffee tea dyed it, and it looks very grungy, and I like it. So got that done. So then I got 2 extra whips done, finished in February. I feel like that's... But I started some stuff. So, well, I must have been planning to do this last time we spoke. Must have been a couple days later. I attended a Zoom that Pam from Stitch New England, words are hard. Stitch New England, she hosts a Zoom once a month for Hawk Run Hollow. I had started this version of the Farms of Hawk Run Hollow. I was sitting next to Lisa from the Sassy Southern Stitchers at a retreat. I think the first one I ever met her. And she was stitching this. And I was just sitting there like, and then what are you stitching? Just like buying all the stuff. Anyway, so I had started this version of it, I think last year sometime. Couldn't tell you when. But I was stitching this and I hated the fabric I had it on. So I needed to restart it. And I picked out fabric. I think this is Twyla. I couldn't tell you who it was by. I think this is a Grace Notes. Could be lying. Not intentionally. But, so, oh, it goes this way. I had originally started the sheep block at the bottom left. I'm usually a bottom left starter, but because of the frustration and trying to make it a fresh new start, I started up here. So I ended up joining the Zoom, and I think, oh, you know what, this will just be like a 5-year whip. And just stitch on it once per month. Probably I'll get to a point where I really want to dedicate time. Probably once my whip list is a little war. But, so I stitched on that. That was just one night of Zooming. And I thought that was a lovely Zoom. A lot of fun gals were in there. And it was very enlightening because, I mean, like, I have no hope of finishing Hawk Run in a timely manner. But there was a bunch of women in there. They had, like, multiple Hawk Runs going. And, like, so I fit in with them. I thought that was great. Because I do have more Hawk Runs that I own. Anyway, so I started that. like whenever the Zoom was. It was right after I last Flosstubed. Then, when I was at the retreat, I told you I took whips, and I do not recommend that. That's so boring. So boring. So, I took whips. And then I knew I was going to buy this pattern. Even though I'm on a pattern buying freeze, I knew I wanted to buy, like, well, firstly, I want to buy all of Emily's stuff. But I knew I wanted to buy something there. And I was going to buy it no matter what. So, when she had shown this pattern, I knew I was going to get it. Love and Learning. It's such a beautiful sampler. And especially for a homeschooler. So I bought the pattern and I was sitting down stitching on my whips. Do not recommend. And I don't know why Sweetwater Stitcher, Jessica, she must have been walking by. I don't know. And I'm nosy. I'm like, what do you got? Anyway, she had kitted up that entire chart. She had bought fabric from the trunk show was so good. The fabric there was amazing. The bag, anyway, we'll talk about that when I get to retreat. So she was walking by and she's like, oh, I just kitted this up. We're going to start it at my table. And I was like, oh, guess what? Me too. Because I don't need an invite. Listen, you just start something and then, listen, the reason I sell is because I'm always slightly racing the other people stitching it. Even if I'm losing. I'm racing you. Anyway, so I went and I bought fabric. This is my first ever LA. Hold on, let me tell you facts. I bought a project bag there too. Look at the goose. This is LA and Dye. Hold on. Live and Dye. LA. And it was oatmeal. 32 count linen. So I went out. So Jessica had passed by, told us of her plot. And I sat there for a while and then I decided, oh, okay, I'm going to do that too. So, yeah, I can go to that. And I went over and I said, which floss did you buy? I want to copy you shamelessly. And so I went over to the annex. There was some of it was there. She ended up coming over and helping a bunch of us because Chantel had kitted hers up. Jessica kitted hers up. And then there was just like a mad rush for everyone to kit it. My table ended up starting at everybody but Emily, I think. Everybody but Emily, I think, started it. But, you know, she'd already stitched that. So, so we went over, kitted up the floss, and started this. This is what I stitched the rest of the retreat. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to tell you, Jessica got a lot more done because she stitches at retreats. Is that amazing? Good for her. So, I did buy a pattern, and I have no problem with that. And you know, the needlework market just happened, and I have not felt the need to go and buy. Like, listen, I want to, but I can wait for them because I have plans for the year, what I want to stitch from my stash. And so there's always next year, and I have a list growing. And whenever I get a whip done, I pay myself a little bit of bonus money. So when January 1st comes around, there'll be a big purchase. Lots of purchases. But I didn't feel one bit of disappointment in myself for buying that at all, because I knew I wanted to buy something special there to remember the retreat and meeting Emily Call and all of that. And I also started that right up. So it's not like it went to my boxes of doom. They were started right up. It's going to be in my whip rotation this year. So I'm excited about that. I also decided to join Christy from the Floss Boss and Cousins, her birthday sale. I was going to resist. And then there were floss drops made for it by T. Magner on Etsy. And so I was like, okay, now I'm going to do it. I'm just going to buy it, print it off, because you can buy it online. And I started it. Let me show you. Firstingly, let me tell you that my friend Tammy bought me this bag. It's my first ever Poppy Patchworks and Poppy bag, and it's super cute, super beautiful stitching, and it's a special prize from my friend Tam. I had bought the floss drops from T. Magner and started the Prairie Life sampler. Started it like right up. So it didn't go to my box of doom. I wanted to stitch this with everybody that's stitching it. That means I wanted to race that. I'm always coming in last. It's fine. But anyway, so I love Little House on the Prairie. You know that. But this is my start. On Christy's birthday, this was it. I don't know what we did that day. What we did, I feel like I got home late and I started it, or I had like an hour or something too. So I started that, and I'm very happy about that. Also, I love that the pieces I'm starting, as I whittle down my seasonal whips, I'm starting non-seasonal projects, and I like that. Anyway, so my planned 24 and 24 start for March was, now we're in March, was Little House Needleworks Farm Life. I also bought and planned this while I sat next to Lisa at a retreat while she stitched it, because I copy her. Do I copy a lot of people? Because imitation is flattery. What is it saying? Imitation is the form of flattery. I don't, just keep that in mind if I've copied you. I usually give you credit. So Lisa was stitching this at a retreat, and I was like, did you buy the DMC? What fabric is that, Lisa? It was add to cart. And I was on 1, 2, 3 stitch, just buying it as she's stitching it. So I had planned this out, and I started it on March 1st. I did not get very far. I've been dinking around. I've been watching a lot of Love is Blind. And then, okay, what happens is, I'm watching Love is Blind while I'm stitching, and then somebody does something crazy, and then I have to text the people who started making me watch Love is Blind, and then I check Instagram, and then I check my email, and then I reply to a text or whatever. And that's why I've been dinking around on this. Plus, I have so much time, I don't know what to do with it. I'm not being efficient. But I stitched on this for like a week, maybe 6 days or something, and I thought, ugh, Teresa, you've got to get focused. So I decided to set it aside, work on my whip for the month, and then I'll go back to that. That does the trick for me a lot. Isn't that a mind game? Setting something aside for a couple of days and then going back to it. Why is that like that? That's why I think Missy's rotation of five days, anyway, a month, that sounds great. So this was my big whip that I have planned for March. I started it last March Mania, I think. And I think I remember taking this to the Stitches and Things. Oh, I think it was her last retreat. Well, before she closed Stitches and Things. She still does the retreats in Davison. She has information on the Stitches and Things alumni group page on Facebook. So there's one coming up, and I'll probably take this there again. But I hadn't had much done. I had like this green form, a few letters, this tree bit, and so I stitched on this just yesterday, and I filled in that. I made that house and the fence and stitched those letters. So something about pulling up a whip with a fresh set of eyes. Oh, sorry, this is the pattern. That was coffee tea dyed by me. It looks like it's a 16 count. Sure does to me. Maybe it's a 14. I couldn't tell you. This is the Spring Has Come, and it's the big piece. So I'm excited about that. Gosh, I love stitching a prairie schooler. So, also, look what I keep my spring prairie schooler in. It's a Como Keeper. I got this because I was complaining about having missed the project bags. Anyway, so I got a Como Keeper with the Teresa Kogut. Hippity hop, don't stop it. What was it? Hold on, I have some of it. What's it called? Hip hooray. Hip hop hooray. Hop hooray. Jeez, Lou. Anyway, so I bought the Como Keeper from Jess, and I just love it. It's got look at that. I got the Flosstube. So pretty. So I've been keeping maybe that folder is why that project is just so exciting to me, perhaps. So that's been my stitching. Also, can we get a moment of impression? Like, I'm just so impressed with myself. I kept my entire February book a days up. Isn't that cool? I've been keeping track of my finishes. I put a couple pictures from the retreat. There's me and Emily. And then, oh, hold on. So that's Andrea, Tammy, and Holly. And so I've been keeping up on my book of days, and I just love that. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with the habit. I'm happy with myself. Okay, so my plans. Start seeds. Stitch. This is what's left on my plans for this month. I have this. This is my other 24 and 24. It's this Fresh Eggs. I started this on the 12 by 12. Gosh, like, if you think about me talking, like that sentence I just said, or two sentences, if someone were to have no, like, just tune in, they'd be like, what is she talking about? 24 and 24 during the 12 by 12. Anyway, I started this Fresh Eggs. I just got a little bit done. This is on my list for this month. My other 24 and 24. And my other whip for March is this spring. So exciting. So those are my plans on my stitch list. I hope to... There's an avalanche just happened. I'm hoping that when I finish that spring Prairie Schooler spring, I'm hoping the farm life calls to me again. Okay, let's talk about what I bought. Firstly, I'm going to tell you that retreat was so fun. Stacy from Thread the Needle, she is a wonderful human being. She was an amazing host. I loved her. I love her. I met her at Stitch New England, the Stitch New England retreat, and she is just a delightful human being. Wonderful host. Her and her husband did the whole thing. They were thoughtful, kind, calm the entire weekend. They just did a really good job. If my husband and I were hosting a retreat, there would be snippy tones on occasion. They just did a great job working together. I just thought that I thought it was fantastic. Okay, so at Beach Please, we got these really cool swag bags. I love this tote bag. It's a really cool linen, and it says it's recycled. What? Yes. In Florida, you can't get a straw. Everything's paper. It came with these heart floss drops. Aren't they cool? I love those. There's stickers in there and directions, which is always helpful for people like me, clueless people. It came with some free new patterns. So, like, let's say somebody was on a buying freeze and they're getting bored by not having the rush of new patterns to stitch, even if they won't get to them. Here we go. There's a little hit. Came with this fun pattern. And, okay, so the retreat, there was other stuff. There was like a pen. And I think, I found the pen. It's a good one with like the little touchy thing for your phone. And I think that there was snips. And I think it's under this pile. I'm so sorry. These things scare me. But also, Emily Cole was the featured designer. She did an amazing job. I know she was nervous because I sat next to her. I couldn't smell her, or like she wasn't sweating her. She just told me that. But anyway, she was so nervous and she did such a good job. And her pattern was so cute. It's this mermaid. And, gosh, I can't wait to stitch it. I think I might use a bright fabric, like an exciting bright fabric. And I think I might make it into a project bag. Just love that. There was like a smaller chart that came with it. Stacy included a project card, the floss, and a beautiful fabric. Love that. So I don't know what this is. It probably says right on here. But well thought out, lovely. Loved it. Emily did a great job. And she also, Emily sat right next to me. So it's weird because like I don't know. I stitch all of her stuff and I follow her on social media, which always feels a little like stalking, but then I got to talk to her and meet her in real life, and she's fantastic. She gifted us these little patterns, and where's my other one? She gave us the Lucky with the little oh, okay, hold on. So she was just very generous. Can I tell you that? And she went around and talked to like all the tables and like chatted with people. Like she was sitting next to me, but really she was gone a lot. But at the retreat, I ended up buying. So I bought the Emily Call pattern that I started right up, the fabric and the floss. The fabric there was amazing. That's the first time I've stitched on that designer. But I also like I almost bought a lot, but then I didn't because I'm good. But I ended up buying one of Stacy's husband's floss winders. I don't have a floss winder, and this one sure is a nice one. He has a little woodworking business, and you can follow him on social media. Oh, that was upside down. And he does beautiful things. He makes bowls and frames and finishing stuff. I ended up buying some fabric. I needed some 20 count for a special project that's coming up. And so they had Dune, and I sure did like that. So, is that all I bought? No, it's not. I ended up sitting with 7 people, which is why I can't show you what I made, because I ended up giving away my pack. Because anyway, we ended up having 7 people sit at our table, and it was amazing. And then, but I got to sit next to Emily Call on one side and my friend Holly on the other side. Also, time out. Pause. Hold on. No, don't pause the video. I gotta tell you something. My friend Holly, Hobbies of Holly, has started a Flosstube. She only has one video, but it's a goodie. And I think you should go watch it. I'll put the link to her Flosstube down in the description box. You should go watch her. And if you don't already follow her on social media, you should. So she sat next to me on the other side. She ended up having to leave early because her little grandson had some health stuff going on, and she had to go be with them. But so we had an empty chair next to me between me and Tam, and then there was another chair pulled up. So people just came and visited the whole time. It was delightful. And Tammy's very, very extroverted, and so she likes to talk to people. She just really has a knack for sitting down and talking to people and getting to know them and showing that she cares. It's amazing. She is really, I think she's a blessing to a lot of people that meet her at retreats. So, but anyway, so we had a chair between us. So we had Emily Call, me, Holly, Tammy, Andrea was her first retreat, Brenda Wise, and Pam Brown. And Pam Brown made me and Tammy's a little notebook covers. I don't know that she made it, I think she just made us a couple. And I thought it was super sweet. Lovely. So Pam Brown gifted me that. I had seen Brenda the weekend before I left for Florida. Nate had a hockey game down in Toledo. So I messaged her and I said, hey, you want to meet up for dinner? And then we ended up going to this really nice restaurant. They had like good seafood. My husband had perch. And like, you didn't come here for what we had to eat. I never had perch that I remember. So I met with Brenda and her husband, and she had gifted me a few things, and then it was the same thing she gave the table mate, so it worked out perfect. But she made some counting pins, finishing pins, and a bulb. Here it is. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? It's like iridescent. And then she had gifted me some patterns she found. She found it at like a bargain bin somewhere. I thought that was nice. And then Tammy. Oh, Emily Call. Okay, listen. She gifted us this. And I think she gave this to a lot of people. Because somebody at a different table started. Emily, did you give this to everybody at the retreat? Anyway, so she gifted us this. And she made our table mates these little cabochons with her art. and a little needle book when she said, I don't sew, but it seems like you did. And this really pretty floss drop. Isn't she pretty? Everything she does is pretty. And then, Tammy gifted us these cute little zippy pouches, a ladybug vacuum, so that it, you know, when you have flosses everywhere, you can vacuum them up. And then a little floss curl and some floss drops by T Magno, these beachy ones. I had gifted floss drops too, but mine were playing cards. They were like Florida souvenir playing cards, and I made them into floss drops. So the bougies walked around. Oh. Do you know what Andrea gifted her table mates? Gift cards to the annex. That was genius. I never thought to do that. Smart. Super smart. Holly gifted these really cool blocks that say Stitch on them. They're from Union Farms. I have a couple of their pieces I picked up at like a craft mart or craft show. And it has a magnet spot and a spot for scissors. She gifted us these scissors over there. So that's really cute. So that was really thoughtful. And she brought Buckeyes, which my boys had come down when we were cleaning up and the retreat was ended, and there was a bunch of food on the table, and my boys grabbed the Buckeyes. Also, Holly brought me this because she's thoughtful. And did you know that the bougies made cabochons for everybody? Did I already show it? No, it was on one of my projects. They made cabochons for everyone. They handed us out some chuck wagon chili from out west. And then they made floss bling. And it was so lovely to meet them. They sat with us quite a bit and got to chat with them. So we had like 9 seats around our table. 2 of them were just like flex seats. It was nice. Look at this. Okay, so I met a lot of and Jenny gave these out. I don't know if she gave them to everybody or just our table, or you know, sometimes you have a cul-de-sac of friends. I met so many great people. Oh, a flamingo handed out these. I think Jessica handed out a floss drop to everybody. I think so. I don't know where mine is. This is really sweet. Look at that little floss. All those little charms. I got another. This one is a cool charm. But look at this. Okay, so I was walking around and Shelly Nichols, she handed me these, and there's like a bunch of little charms on it. They're super cute. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet, thank you. And then I didn't even like look at the floss drop because we were chatting about something. And she was very lovely. And I went back to my seat and I looked and I was like, oh my goodness, she's so adorable. Isn't that she cute? I want to do that. Would that be so? I just think that would be cute. I gotta find a picture somewhere. And then some just thoughtful with a little charm. It's like a chipboard or something. And then another cabochon. And did this come in the retreat bag? It might have. I don't know. Super fun. I had so much fun. So many people came up and introduced themselves to me. I also was gifted some floss and dental. Listen, I'm going to tell you. At the Teresa Kogut retreat in the spring, I had something stuck in my teeth. I have like traps. I have teeth traps. Anyway, I had something stuck, and Brenda was a dental hygienist. And so I was really frustrated for a long time. And once I can't leave it be. And so I asked her, I said, hey, Brenda, do you have any floss? And she was like, I got DMC. Oh, anyway, so she gifted me some floss. So now my retreat pouch will always be fully. Oh, also, can I show you this one? Like, hold on. Athena went around and passed out these little balloon animals. They're made out of beads. I thought that was super sweet. Anyway, also, okay, is that everything? Did I tell you how much I love Stacy? How lovely Emily Call was? My table mates were fantastic. We were spoiled. We had a great time. Got to meet the bougies. They're so super fun. And did I tell you all that? We started a a sale. Ooh, the hashtag. I shall write it down below because you know I'm not good at remembering things. There's a hashtag. I'll put it down below. When I got home last Saturday, I got my flamingo box. And it was super, super amazing. Sweet Wing Studio was the designer. She designed this Easter piece. And it included the fabric. The fabric. And the floss. And finishing fabric. And little pins, counting pins. And a bag tag, or project bag tag, and a sticker, and a project card. This is about as sweet as it comes. This is a Tiger Lily project card. Super good. And a floss winder. That's super cool. So, love that. I love that box. I also got my subscriptions. I think that I got these long ago. Probably right after our last Flosstube. Because I think they've been shipped. Ugh. Are you not in the Coloring Cotton Club? You should be. Aren't those pretty? Gosh. Is that persimmon? Let me see what it's called. Persimmon! Oh, they're so pretty. Look at it. I just want to go to their store so bad. Old brick. So pretty. I got those. I also got my Fabric of the Month Club from Coloring Cotton. 32 count Belfast linen. This one is hay bale medium. And I have my Grace Notes. This is called Cupid. Super pretty purple. Like very beautiful lavender. I need to get more bold with my colorful fabrics because I jokingly said, oh, maybe I'll stitch this piece on Sunset, and look how cool it looks on pink. So I like that. I need to do that more often. I think that's all. Did I forget anything? Hey, if you were at that retreat and you came up and said hello to me, can I just thank you? Because I'm pretty shy. I really am not super outgoing. So I'm not the type to go up and mingle with each table. And so when somebody comes to me where I'm stitching and introduces himself and tells me about themselves or in line somewhere, I just appreciate that because I never, like, I just get nervous. Anyway, and I think that the people that watch this channel are so lovely. And I appreciate all of the comments that I receive on this channel. All of my comments are always kind and helpful, and I just appreciate all of you. And I'm grateful that you're here to catch up with me, even when I'm sporadic and when I don't know the date or my name or whatever that's happened. But I just appreciate all of you. I hope you've been stitching a lot. I feel like I still have some good stitching before gardening season. Actually, do you know what I found last year? And I've been keeping that in mind. I found that I could stitch pretty well during gardening season because I just do like a little bit each day. Like, you know, I plant 5 things one day and 5 things. When I cannot stitch one bit is during canning season. So September is probably I didn't realize that. So I'm keeping that in that perspective this year. But anyway, all I'm saying is I know I'm flaky with the best of intentions. But I appreciate all of you guys that check in with me, you friends, and I hope you're having a wonderful early spring. Is it early spring where you are? I feel like this is false spring still for us in Michigan, but I'm going to include a little slideshow of the retreat at the end with my friends. I had such a good time. Did you know that Chantel141 was there? She's a hoot, and like just a hoot. Nicole Spore was there. She's lovely. Oh, Simply Stitching Ocala. Jody, she is just, I just love chatting with her, and she has great bag taste. She had such cool bags, and I was like, where'd you get that? I have one ordered, thank you. So, anyway, it was just lovely to see people that Alicia was there. She's wonderful. She sat and chatted with us for a while. Are you going to retreats? You should probably go to a retreat. Even if you know no one, you should give it a whirl, a good try, because they're really fun. I just signed up for a new one in May in Iron Mountain. Artie's retreat up there in Iron Mountain. I signed up for that. My next retreat is in April at the Library Stitchers in Maine. I'm excited about that. I've never been to Maine. I should probably work on my table mate gifts a little sooner this time. Same with my Chantel 141 finishing frenzy. One day. I appreciate you. Thank you for checking in. Happy stitching, friends. Bye-bye.